What is up, guys? Tom Links back again, also known as the Black Gentleman. And today I'm bringing you a blast from the past. This is a Transformers Sterling 30 Brainstorm, and it's a representation of the IEW version of Brainstorm with a few tweaks. Before getting those, I figure I start things a little different. I start him out in his alt mode. Normally, I believe originally he came packaged in robot mode, but I actually got this guy second hand. So I'm not quite sure how he was packaged. So I'm gonna start off in alt mode. So here he is. As you can tell, for anyone who reads the IEW comics, this is pretty bang on. And first and foremost, I want to be honest. One of the different things about him that's different from the IEW version is he is a headmaster. In original G1, he was a headmaster, but in IEW representation, he is not a headmaster. But a bummer thing is, when I got this figure, the head here, I can totally take it off. I just turn it around, and it comes off. But I read up on it, and a lot of these guys had issues where the trigger mechanism doesn't want to release properly, and what you end up doing is just pulling the head off, but the head will be stuck in here. And as of right now, I can't really get it off well. Like the trigger is right here. You pull down on it, and you pull the head off. But what happens is the head gets lodged in the neck, and it's a whole ordeal. If anyone knows any tricks, please let me know. But otherwise, I'm just gonna leave the headmaster in there. To be honest, it's not much to look at. So yeah, but he does have a cockpit, for said headmaster, as you can see. He has a cool little seat there, and also the canopy does open and close. I wish the canopy were actually not translucent and more or less just a dark piece of orange plastic. I would rather have that. But for what it is, it's cool. And the overall look of it is very nice indeed too. As you can see, the transformation is very reminiscent of the Siege Seekers. How the robot mode legs just basically fold under it. And to kind of show it off as a comparison, I actually have a guy that just came in the mail today. Thundercracker. And no, I'm not doing a review of Thundercracker, at least not right now. But I just wanted to use him as a let me move this blaster fit off. I just want to kind of show him as a comparison for alt mode goes. And also want to show the fact that the engineering, this is the older figure where the legs go underneath here. They're still kind of using it today for the Siege Seekers. So very familiar. Tucked in arms, tucked in legs. So yeah, if anyone ever wondered where this transformation came from, Brainstorm. See, that's the thing. So on top of comparisons, to get him out of the way, let's show him with another IEW inspired character, Ultra Magnus from Commando Wars. I just happen to have him laying around because I recently did a video challenge regarding this character here. So you can kind of see how they look together. Pull the camera back a little bit. Side two of the more me side characters look side by side. And that's pretty good. So let's go and get Ultra Magnus out. For the picture. Now I'll talk more about him in his alt mode. It's basically your standard, space fighter jet. No real articulation. The wings can move down and up, mostly due to transformation, and that's the same on both sides. And these back wings here, for stability, can go up and down. Yet again, mostly because of transformation. And it comes with two guns, which in comic books, for the most part, they just kind of stay on his back. He honestly very rarely takes them off to use them, but they can double as handguns. And they come off like so. This unplug. And they have a nice little bit of detail here in silver paint on the barrel. And they're both made the exact same way. You just plug that back on. And also has a cool piece of landing gear right here, which you can use for stability when he's on the mat. I think he can still stabilize himself, but with the landing gear, he does stand up better, as he should. As for paint apps, he has some nice silver paint here on the sides of both pieces of the nose cone here. More silver paint here on intake vents on both sides. A little bit more silver paint here on these vents, and a nice strip of red paint on both sides of the cockpit. You can see. All about symbol appears to be, I want to say it's tempographed. At least I believe it is. And he's got this, I believe this is actually just gray plastic, not paint, right here. And as for paint apps, that's basically it. And underneath here, you get more, which is basically more his bot mode. You get silver paint here on both knees, and a little bit of a red trim here, right here and right here. And a big garish serial number, which I thought they could have hid that a little better. That's just kind of tacky, if you ask me. So, with that being said, this is a brainstorm alt mode. If you guys give me a second, I'll get them all transformed, and I'll be right back. Until then, I'm going to have Blaster play me off. And now we're back. And here he is in his robot mode. And as you can tell, a lot of the same paint apps carried over. Because honestly, his alt mode, especially him, just folded over himself. Although I am kind of considering putting an Autobot logo right here on the cockpit there, just to make sure everybody knows this guy's an Autobot. Because he does have the symbols, but they're on his wings here. That I kind of tucked backwards. But I kind of like them when they're kind of like about that much protruding. Let's see, about like that. Yeah, I kind of dig that look. But yeah, as for his articulation, fairly standard. See the arms, you can get a full 360. They can soft ratchet it out that far. He has a double bicep right here. He can bend in here, and he can do it again at the wrist, at the forearm. And that too is mostly because of transformation. And 360 at the bicep to give him a full spin. As for hands, they're I don't know if this is all copies. Keep in mind I got mine secondhand. It's a little loose here. You get a little bit of the Frenchman wave, you know. On the other side, it was even looser. So I took a little piece of paper right here, as you can see it, and just kind of crammed it in there to kind of keep it even more stable. But yeah, far articulation, same on both sides. The arm. One bummer is he has like absolutely no waist rotation, and I hate that. I love waist rotation on a figure, but I try to cut this figure some slack given its age. And given the way he's built, I can kind of see why he doesn't, because of the cockpit being here. There was absolutely no way to give it to him. And speaking of cockpit, if you open it up, you can see the old school G1, the speed, strength, and intelligence you get from whichever headmaster is attached. So that's a pretty cool throwback. Although, to my personal opinion, he didn't need to be a headmaster because, well, it's IW's version of brainstorm. He was not a headmaster. And back to articulation. If you move out the skirts here, you can open his legs up further. About that far. He could probably do a full Van Damme or what I call a full trowel, but the leg skirts are really in the way. And these ratchets are very strong, which I do appreciate. Also has one here, you can kind of move it out so you can get the full splay that way. See, move that back. See if you can't. There we go. So you can get the full ballerina jump and go in there. If that's your bag of tea. And he has a thigh swivel. Let's get you the full 360. And as far as ankle articulation goes, he has a little bit of ankle rock there, which is really good. A lot of figures at that time period didn't have this, including Springer. He couldn't do this. His foot had a permanent kind of an ankle tilt like that. But this one you can go back and forth, which I really do approve of. And you can go down, so you can get a little bit of a toe bend. Not much, but a little bit. And the same on both sides, as you can see. And with even without the waist rotation, like I said before, I still dig him. Although I think he would go up a lot more points if he could. And as far as guns, which you already saw prior, I just plug those onto his back. He has a 5mm port right here. Same as the nose cone, so you can plug them anywhere. And you can carry them both in either hand. I'm gonna go with the stronger hand right here. So that's what it looks. Matter of fact, I'll go in to have them dual wheels. Just go get that out of the way. There we go. Plug it in here. So you can get a little bit of that action going on. Pulls them back. Although in the comic books, you never really, I can't remember a time. I mean, I'm not finished reading them, of course, but so far I have not come to a time where he actually used both of his guns. He typically just keeps one on the back at all times. And also, one more thing about articulation. Because he's a Titan Master, you know, he can turn his head. Oh, this one's incredibly loose. But he can turn full 360. And get a little bit of a down. Doesn't hold very well. And that's about all you get. Although I do like having my giant robots look down. I think down's more important than up in most cases. So there you get that. Also for the face, let me get a little closer. He does have a this appear to be an orange paint here for the mouthpiece here, and yellow paint for the eyes. I would kind of like the fact I would like if you could have removed his mouthpiece, because in comic books, spoiler alert, for those who haven't read them, he's actually a Decepticon double agent, and under his mouthpiece there is a Decepticon logo. So it'd be kind of nice if they could have removed, if he had not been a headmaster and could remove this right here and flip it and show the Decepticon insignia. I think that'd been an even nicer touch, especially since they kind of took away our waist rotation. You know, that'd been another cool gimmick for him to have had, but he doesn't, so I have to complain. As a toy reviewer, I feel self-entitled, so I have to complain about things. So that is a small complaint, but whatever, it's all good. Now, as far as comparisons go, I have his Morton BCI shipmate, Joey Kill himself, Ultra Magnus. So you guys can kind of see how they scale together. I think that looks nice. It makes me think a little bit. Not to go back to Ultra Magnus here, and I do love this figure, as you guys seen in my prior video about old toys. I wouldn't mind seeing Mastermind Creations take a stab at a Border Meets the Eye Ultra Magnus, or even a KO company where the, say, Wang Zhang or Zhu Zhang were to take this Ultra Magnus right here and just upscale him, just to make him a little bit bigger. Although I think he's kind of big enough, but when you compare him to guys like MMC's Carnifex or the Overlord, he's a little bit shorter. And in comic books, Ultra Magnus and Overlord, though Overlord's bigger than him, he is, you know, still comes off a bit bigger than this figure. But even MMC didn't make one, which it probably not. I'm satisfied with this guy because I love his Ultra Magnus. I still do. But I'm not here talking about him. Let me get him out of the way again. I was about to do a whole nother rant about how much I love Ultra Magnus. And it ain't that kind of video. But to bring in Thundercracker again, that's the scale you get with a Siege Voyager. And again, you can kind of see how Voyagers have changed. How Thundercracker is a bit shorter than Brainstorm, which I believe in common, but they're probably close to the same height. But to praise Siege, now this comes off a little bit heavier, a little bit more girth, versus this one, you know, a lot lighter. So I guess you win some, you lose some as far as height goes. All right. Well, as far as Brainstorm goes, that's my review. I say if you can get them, pick them up. If you're like me and into the IEW aesthetic, I say go for this one. You can get the Titans Return version, but he is a deluxe, and I find him to be just a little bit too short, at least for my display. So for my taste, this is the Brainstorm I say go with if you're going in the IEW direction. So, guys, I have had fun with this review. It's always nice getting a new piece for my shelf, and I'm glad I can bring you this one. I know this is an older figure, and I don't know how many people actually care about a review of this figure, but I wanted to do it because, you know, I just enjoyed bringing you guys content. And with that being said, Sodom Noomspa, also known as the Black Gentleman, out here doing God's work, reviewing these figures. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace out. Like, share, and subscribe. 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 Like, share, and subscribe.